Hi, friends. My name is Host Eric, and I am the host of Talking with Famous People. In this video, I would like to talk about communication and relationships. All relationships have varying degrees of trust. And what's interesting is that those trust areas are not what thinkers often think they are, necessarily to feelers. For example, the trust to a thinker might relate to specific activities or actions. That a thinker might say, well, I trust you not to steal money from me. I trust you not to become violent. But there's a lot of responses that are not technically violations in any sense that nevertheless violate trust. For example, sometimes a significant other might display a feeling that's more or less well justified by events. This can be a big source of conflict when that feeler is significant other with a thinker, potentially, if the thinker chooses to make it so. And here's why. Because the thinker is aware of the fact that this emotional response to the event or action or activity or whatever in question is not proportional. It's either unrelated, it seems like that wouldn't evoke that response naturally from any average person, or it's out of whack in terms of magnitude. It's a bigger response than would seem to be justified by it. So, in those instances, what a thinker will often do is then join the emoter in emotion and say, well, now I'm upset because you're not being fair. This begins the spiral of unfairness, as it's called. Because now the person who's feeling and expressing the initial emotion is left with the fact that they are expressing and feeling the actual emotion they're expressing and feeling. It's not a matter of fair or unfair. That's what they feel. They don't decide how much feeling to have and make sure that it's proportional to the event in question. So, given that the introverted feeler who's feeling something can't help it, so to speak, they feel it's unfair to elicit the anger of the other. And that's what I mean by the spiraling, escalator of unfairness. What do you do about that? Well, I would say you encourage your significant other to voice their responses to things, whatever they may be. So, let's say you have a wife who's fussy a lot, that gets upset, that you come home from work and she's in a bad mood, and the last thing you need after a long day of work is right. Well, first of all, simple strategy number one: ask questions. Ask questions, and when you get answers that you don't like for whatever reason, don't take that bait. Just ask another question in the most neutral and positive way possible. Allow her to talk as much as she wants. Don't pressure her to talk if she doesn't want to talk. That's number two. Don't push for what you want. Look for the actual soft spots. Okay? Where are the actual soft spots is the second of these three things I'm going to talk about. The soft spots mean argue according to who she is, not what she says. She's testing you at the same time that you're communicating with her. She's testing to see how you're going to react Whether she's doing it as a motivator or not is irrelevant. She's going to draw on that data and can make conclusions about it. So, pass those tests. It's easy enough. What does it mean to pass the test? Don't react on that chain. Just shift chains. Go, okay, well, let's change the subject then. Here we go, over here. And pick something nice, happy. Remember, your job is to try to win making her happy, cheering her up, stopping the mood, making her feel better. It's best for everybody. If you fix it like that, then everybody's mood gets better. You're seen as a good guy. She's seen as somebody who's cheer-upable. Do the best you can. Leave her alone. Number 3, leave her alone. If she wants to be left alone, leave her alone. Make sure you're leaving her alone until and unless she doesn't want to be left alone. You know, not. You want to come vent? Come vent. Whatever. Look, it's really hard to stay upset at somebody who's persistently being host Eric's reasonable guy character. You know, when I say it's a character, what I mean is it requires mindfulness on my part. It requires me to think about how I'm behaving with a given person and not just go off my gut. And that's fine. For certain relationships, it's acceptable for me to be mindful most of the time because that individual is significant in some way and I'm interested in the process anyway. So, let's recap the 3 points. The first one was ask questions. The second one was I don't remember. Whatever they were. Thanks for watching Talking Famous People. Don't forget to put on your cheese. Helen, I love you. With my heart and my boner.